time on them niggas.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
All right, y'all know how we do. Always pushing health, wealth, and a better understanding of self. So in this video, y'all, we going over Kash Patel got his email hacked. And then we got Sheila Cherfilus has been found guilty in her ethics hearing. All right. So we're going to go over both of them. And I want to get what y'all think about this in the comment section. But first, let's get into Kash Patel, right? Kash Patel has been seen. Well, you know, we knew he was a weirdo. Okay, we knew he was a weirdo, but this weird. Okay, he was at the hockey championship with USA. I think it was like a Olympics or something like that. And he got his USA gear on, drinking a beer. I think he apologized for that, if I'm not mistaken. But this goes to show, why do we have to deal with immigrant first generation, or you know, whatever generation they are, immigrants into our politics? Like, you can come here and you can be a business owner, you can even be a doctor, you can be a nurse, you can get all of these qualifying positions, right? You can't be a district attorney, you can't be anything that has to do with power and money. I guess doctors do that too. We just need to make it clear that we need more of the people that's from this land, because we feel like they're going to care about this land. When you got people that's not from this land, I mean, why would they care about it? Now, I've been doing a video on this lady, Sheila Cherfilus. Okay, she's in the Congress, the Congressional Black Congress to be exact, and there's a lot of tethers. We need more foundational Black Americans into the Congress. Matter of fact, we shouldn't even have anybody that doesn't have at least 5 to 6 generations of this land in the politics. That's something we all got to push, because we're seeing with all of these illegals, with immigrants, it's just somebody has a tap in, they're tapped in to pushing immigrants in this country. And listen, I don't got no problem with immigrants, but when it comes to our politics and you making way and getting shell companies and all of this stuff, is just, I feel like somebody that's loyal to the soil will want to make sure, you know, the people in this country is taken care of. And a lot of people not doing that, right? So she's found guilty. She's gonna get put out there. We're gonna see if the House, the Democrats is gonna go through with this. But it says, shortly after the House returns from the April recess, the full committee will hold a hearing to determine what, if any, sanctions would be appropriate for the committee to recommend. Guest and the panel's top Democrat, Mark DeSolino of California, said in a joint statement, "I look forward to proving my innocence," Cherfilus McCormick said in a statement. "Until then, my focus remains where it belongs, showing up for the great people of Florida's 20th district who sent me to Washington to fight for them." Now, in this hearing, it showed nothing about the people that sent her. Like, they was running the campaigns for her. They was paying for her campaigns. It wasn't coming out of her account. So when people get into these positions and you see that they're an immigrant or they got immigrant background, we always got to be like weary of that, because it seems that they are pushing to get immigrants to come to this country and undermine, because people of this country, it's going to be too much scrutiny. It's easier to get somebody that's not from the country and they can more care about themselves. Now I'm gonna show y'all the hearing with Kash Patel and show you how some of the money they got funneling. I don't like to say his name, but G Soro, y'all know They're gonna talk about that, and y'all can see how this politics is really a money game, and us Americans is getting taken advantage of.
I assume the FBI director, Mr. Patel, I believe you probably agree with me that there's a significant organized effort on the left side of the political spectrum to advance criminal organizations being able to put more criminals out on the streets. And that what we've seen this in daily action. Are you familiar with the report that came out this last Monday from the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund?
I'm not familiar with that, sorry.
So this report came out this past Monday, and it said that significant amount of the money flowing out of George Soros and other leftist organizations and funders has been funding DAs and prosecutors, and quote, many of these DAs had never managed an office, prosecuted a criminal case, developed organizational policies. In dozens of America's largest cities and counties, this report finds these progressive district attorneys have outsourced core parts of the American criminal justice system to activists and political donors, taking direction and advice on everything from staffing decisions and communication strategy. Organizations, it's a complex web of donors going in through these organizations to put radical DAs and prosecutors out there, putting criminals on the streets. Does the FBI director agree that this exists and is a problem?
I will accept the factual representation, and if that exists, it is a problem.
The organizations such as TIDES, the Fair and Just Prosecution, Brenner Center for Justice, Partnership for Safety and Justice, the Vera Institute of Justice, the amount of dollars flowing from George Soros through and to these organizations and to the various prosecutors that have resulted in increased crime on our streets, including the brutal murder of the Ukrainian refugee in Charlotte. I bring that up because that is one component of the problem. In addition, we have an organized effort targeting our border. The NGOs, the nonprofits, and the deep pockets, the United Nations, charitable organizations, and a long list of over 250 organizations that the Center for Immigration Studies put out that lays out a complex web of organizations that were moving people into our country, knowing that they're dangerous, knowing that they're criminal, associated with taxpayer dollars flowing through the United Nations and donor dollars flowing through organizations, including ostensibly religious ones, putting these dangerous individuals on the street that resulted in fentanyl in our communities, that resulted in the death of Jocelyn Nungare, of hundreds, thousands even, as the director testified, 100,000 people dying from these narcotics every year. All of this in an organized effort, a complete effort by the radical left to use taxpayer dollars and these dollars to put people on our streets. In addition, the extent to which we've seen now with the Southern Poverty Law Center and their hate map targeting, for example, the Family Research Council, where we had a shooting right here in DC over a decade ago, putting Charlie Kirk, putting a target on TPUSA, Antifa, other radical organizations that are very specifically organized in targeting conservatives and ordinary Americans. Well, how about the organized effort to infiltrate our schools and advance a transgender agenda and advance a radical agenda, perhaps one that we will see exposed further in the individual that actually shot Charlie Kirk? Here's my question. Will you as the director, and are you as the director, pursuing all legal channels to follow the truth wherever it may lead on this organized effort, one? And two, do you agree that Congress should take all action necessary to expose this web of dollars that are flowing to undermine our way of life? I got another minute in my time that I'd like to hear from you on this topic broadly.
I'll keep it short. Investigatively speaking, we are doing the following. We are following the money. We are following the money in every organization and every person that is violating the federal code. And it doesn't matter what your background or ideology is. We are following the money. We are using legal process to follow that money, issuing subpoenas to follow that money, using grand juries to follow that money. And when we have results to recommend for prosecution to the Department of Justice, we will do that. And we will continue to publicize documents through Congress, yes, when we make these findings.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like unanimous consent to insert the record outsourcing justice by the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund that I alluded to before. I would ask unanimous consent to add a 2024 list provided by the Center for Immigration Studies on these United Nations and other affiliated groups that are responsible, over 250 of them, for moving individuals into our country in a coordinated effort. I would like a unanimous consent to insert a letter that I sent that currently has 33 members of the United States House of Representatives have signed on it, calling for a special select committee to pursue the organized effort from the radical left to target our way of life and undermine our security by putting criminals on the street and having our borders being wide open and putting us in danger. With that, I would yield back.
Crime is the record crime is down in 2025. Trump doesn't deserve credit, which demonstrates that the crime rates have been decreasing since 2023, which was published by the Vera Institute. Also, a unanimous consent request to enter into the record a NPR report from July of 2024. GOP vows to make America safe again. Statistics contradict their growing crime claims.
Without objection.
Also, a report out of the American Presidency Project dated January 17, 2025, record low crime during the Biden-Harris administration.
Without objection.
Also, Joe Biden is correct that violent crime is near a 50-year low, which was a PolitiFact.
All right, so if y'all seen on that video how they talked about GS, I don't like to say his name, George Morrows, y'all know I don't like to be giving his name because they go acting crazy on my channel every time I say this man's name, but how money is funneling through him, we know that it's lobbyists, it's people that's paying these guys, and having somebody that's in our politics that's not from this land is, they can do so much things that we don't know about with companies and businesses. And this is what this is exposing to me. You got somebody that can hack into his email, right? And all of the politicians are doing it, though. I feel like it's too much money that they all are, even if they are from this land, they probably still doing backdoor deals with other countries. You know, it just makes sense for the countries to try to, they don't got no business like they would have here in America. So that's why I'm pushing. I'm going to leave a link to the CBC, man. We canceling the CBC, but this is why we got to push for no immigration in politics. No immigrants can be in politics. You can go to the beaches. You can go start you a restaurant, but you can't be in politics. That just don't make sense. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. We is going live tonight. Y'all tap in with us. We're gonna go over some news that's pushing, that's pushing the internet right now. And we're gonna catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
A community must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive and compete.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.